Time to leave San Antonio.
American Airlines would like to be the very first to welcome you to the United Kingdom.
3 days later.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Midlife Crisis. Today we're Midlife Crisis on the move. As you saw from the intro, we are no longer in the US. We're no longer in Texas. We are in London in the UK, and we are here at Mercedes Benz World in Surrey, UK to check out the Mercedes AMG Driving Experience. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never.
All right, we're about to go into the AMG Driving Experience at Mercedes Benz World. Now that is one big AMG logo. That's so cool.
Two pedals down there in the usual layout. You got your accelerator on the right, brake pedal on the left. Have you ever done anything like this before?
Yes, I have a GTS at home.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
have you driven it on circuit?
I've driven it on track twice.
Okay.
So, but left-hand drive, obviously.
Okay, yeah, that takes a bit getting used to.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep it at walking speed around here, keep an eye out for any pedestrians and other cars. So is that the only car you've driven on circuit before?
I've also done a Porsche GT3.
Oh, okay, cool.
And a Lamborghini Huracan.
Okay, cool. Those kind of experience days, or were they your own cars?
No, those were experience days.
Okay.
Yeah. I have the GTS, and then I have an older R230 SL55.
Oh, nice. Okay. And so, if we go across at the roundabout, what we'll do to start with is we'll head to the South Circuit. So that's the smaller R2 circuits. If you're doing your own cars on circuit, I don't know how they do track those over, I'm assuming States or Canada. Okay, so we go across at the roundabout. But certainly over here we do what's called sighting laps to start off with, where you kind of follow a pace car around.
Alright, well we're still under a caution. I want you to back out on that track and hit the pace car. Hit the pace car? Hit the pace car!
Slowly.
Okay.
Think of this as like that, okay? So we'll be doing kind of 20-30 miles an hour. Just double check you're happy with your seat position, you're happy with the controls. And I'll talk you through some of the techniques we'll be using on the main circuit later on, just to help you prepare for that a little bit more.
Gotcha.
So where have you had to come from for today?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we head on now then.
Awesome.
So the first thing we always look for track technique wise is just a hand position. So if you hold the wheel what we call quarter to free, so just with your thumbs resting on top of the spokes of the wheel here, that's it. And then to turn the wheel, just push down with your thumbs, as opposed to putting down on the wheel itself. You can cross your arms on the circuit. I know you're not always taught to do that on the road, but here we're using a bit less lock, so it just gives us a bit more accuracy and control. Other than that, when you're driving on circuit, of course you want to think about doing everything smoothly and everything once. So you want to hit the brakes hard in a straight line. You want your hardest bit of braking to be right towards the start of the braking zone, so you can then bleed off the brakes as you approach the corner. Try and do all your braking in a straight line and only come off the brakes when you're certain you won't need them again, so you don't want to be reapplying them through the corner. Gotcha. Then as you come off the brakes, we'll turn in kind of one fluid hand movement on the wheel, and then on the way out we just want one gradual application of throttle as we unwind the lock. So of course we've got 510 horsepower here, rear wheel drive. When we move into the 4-door later, that'll be 4-wheel drive. But in this one, you know, obviously if you do get a little bit trigger happy with the throttle, the rear end can come around pretty quickly. We do have traction control just like on yours, and a bunch of other driver aids trying to help us out with that. But of course the more you're using them, the more it's interfering with the speed of the car, isn't it? So it really rewards a smooth style of driving overall. How are you finding that so far, driving on the right hand side?
Well, the nice part about this is that being on track, I really don't. The right side doesn't really bother me so much as is when having traffic opposite of you.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll accelerate as hard as we can. When you get to those blue cones up there, about 100 metres up the road, hit the brakes and stop as hard as you can.
Okay.
Just get a feel for the responsiveness of the car. I mean, you ready? Let's go. Okay, perfect.
Fill those brakes just a little bit.
Yeah.
How often do you guys have to replace the brakes?
A fair bit. I don't know the exact numbers. I think it can vary, of course, depending on how they've been driven, who's driving there. You felt a little bit of wheel spin, didn't you, as you went up there? You feel that bit of juggling on the road, traction control kicked in. So maybe this time just think about a little bit more throttle control. So if you start about half to 3/4 power, and then as you feel that kind of grip and traction build on the ridge.
Don't slam on at the first, go about, like you said, about 3/4 throttle, and then...
Yeah, and then just kind of gradually squeeze it on from there as you feel that grip build. And then with the braking side, really good initial hit with it, that's absolutely fine. Think about a slightly slower bleed off the brakes at the end there. Okay, so obviously when you hit the brakes, your breath get thrown forwards, that's perfect, that's what we want. And then as you come off the brakes, you just want to gently slump back in. Okay, when you're ready, let's do it. Much better.
Oh, good.
Okay, cool. So with that performance so far, we've just been in comfort mode. Should we try it in race mode?
Oh, absolutely.
So when you're ready, let's do it. Perfect. So you feel the difference in race mode, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It was, if anything, a bit easier to get the power there, wasn't it? Cool, so let's head to the circle next. I don't know if you've watched anybody around there.
I was a little bit, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's both painted and wet. So we use something called Avatol. That's designed to be as slippery as possible, and then the water just kind of preserves it, keeps it cool, stops it from wearing. So it's like driving across the okay. So yeah, when we head on, you want to be in this wettest part where the water and the paint is, as you can see. You want to be up against the white line to driver's right, as you can see just there. Okay. Aim for about 15 miles an hour or so speed wise. You want to keep the steering lock the same as you go around, and then when you're ready, just give it enough throttle to try and get the rear wheel spin to modulate, to control the throttle. You know, that's what's pushing the rear in the first place, isn't it? But then of course, as you say, it's the steering input, isn't it? So we call it turn into the slide. So as the car slides to the right, we'll need to turn to the left to counter.
Okay.
The more it slides to the right, the
counter
more
steer.
it turns to the left. Yeah, exactly. So a bit of power in it. Perfect. So you probably felt the ESP system in there. Yeah, it almost feels like it's holding it into place. It's applying the brakes on the individual corners, just straighten the car up. One button down, a bit less power. That's it. Okay, so that's with everything fully switched off. So if you just keep it stable for a moment, I'm just going to put it into ESP Sport mode, and we'll see what that does. So if you aim for 15 miles an hour again, let's give it another try. So I think the bit that held us back there was the opposite lock, or the counter steering. So we only really got to about that far before we gave up on it. Okay. For the sake of this exercise, if you have a spin where you haven't got to the end of the steering rack, there's where you can.
Oh, okay.
So if we build up a bit of speed, and let's try it now. More lock, less power. The steering lock was better until the end where we kind of threw it back to the right. Just think about a bit more throttle control overall. Just enough throttle to get the rear wheel spinning, nothing more. That was better. So you just be wary of applying too much lock, because then of course when it grips up, you just get off to the left, won't you? So the wheel needs to follow the car. This time I'm going to turn the ESP off completely, and we'll see what difference that makes.
Oh, it's going to go 360.
When you're ready, let's give it a try. More lock, less power. Good catch, hold up. So you can feel you didn't have the same kind of safety net anymore, did you? Yeah. But it's still controllable, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. If anything, it's almost slightly easier as long as you've got the throttle control and the wheel work, right? Yeah. So of course you haven't got that brake pressure going up against you, what have you. No. So as long as you know how to control it, it's actually on this surface at least quite manageable. Let's try again. More lock, less power.
More lock, less power. So when you say more lock, more steering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try. So we just need to be responsible on the power to what we're feeling. So when you're feeling you're starting to lose control, we need to be coming off that power.
Coming off.
Okay. That's it. Off the power. Wow. Keep your eyes in. Try and keep your eyes on that white line there. About 3 to 4 pilots ahead of yourself. See naturally how much tighter we got straight away. Yeah. Because of course your hands just follow your eyes, don't they? Yeah. So start to think about coming off that power a little bit now. You feel the car stepping out a bit more. Yeah. That's it. Good.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a combination.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
So as we head onto the circuit, as you do with any others you've driven, start slow, work out where you're going. Okay, so if we go to the left here. Okay. So it's hands into position, bring the car into the right, keep tight to the right after the blue cone, and then bring the car back into the left. Keep tight to the left until that second blue cone, and use the width of the circle first, keep them in the right lines. Then it's back over to the left, brake hard in the blue cones there, try not to cross over them, and then back into the right. Use the width of the line on the long line, so you're up against that orange cone, then you want the straightest possible curve back into the right, just gradually squeezing on the power, then unwind the lock so you're up.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
These cones might start the braking zone for the next corner, so when you get there, you want to be hard on the brakes now. And then lead off the brakes, turn in now, aim for the cone on the inside. And it's back out to left, brake in a straight line now. And then keep tight to the right all the way through this corner, even on the exit. And over this next left, stay out wide, ignore the first cone, aim for the second cone around the corner. And then really hug this white line on the left. And you won't need any brakes for this last corner, off the power, turn in. That's a lap. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, it's quite a tight and technical course, isn't it? It's only 1 kilometre long,
Yeah.
but we pack 8 corners into that. So, you know, it's there's always something going on. So each corner leads on to the next one, which means quite simply, if you screw up one, you screw up a couple. So the key really is to think about where you position the car, the techniques you're applying, and the speed will flow naturally from there. Where you'll go slow is if you're really trying to hustle it for each corner. And slowly bleed up into the corner now, balance across just like that, and then back out. And then on the brake, this corner can really suck you in, so you start to kind of brake through the corner, and you find you're a lot slower as a result. So always make a conscious effort to slow up.
Gotcha.
So same as last time, really hug this white line here, and ease off, turn in.
Well, that was absolutely incredible. I got to drive a C63S sedan as well as a GT63 sedan. I can tell I am not a drifter. That's not gonna happen, but it was incredibly fun on their wet skid pad, taking around the track, doing launch control. Absolutely incredible experience. I cannot recommend enough the AMG Driving Experience here at Mercedes Benz World. Please give them a follow on Instagram at Mercedes Benz World. It was an absolutely incredible experience. And so all I know is I love launch control, but I need some more time learning how to be a drifter.